Today we're sewing a simple and satisfying Dopp Kit bag. Download my free pattern and follow along to make your own.
A portion of this video is sponsored by Nebula.
Hey, it's Becky, and last year I first made a bag like this as a companion piece to my waxed canvas tool roll. But I didn't just try to make the bag from canvas, I also made some with my stash of boldly printed grocery bags. Everyone I made one for has really enjoyed theirs, so I'm releasing the pattern and showing you how to stitch up your own. This is a pretty easy sewing project, albeit a little more 3D than the tool roll. They go great together. What do I have in this bag? You can use this bag for tools, art supplies, makeup. I have a backup battery in it right now. Anything you want, really. I have a couple in my van, one with snacks and one with picnic supplies. Food is clearly a priority.
I've published a free pattern for this bag, which you can download and print out on regular sized paper. Then use the registration marks to tape it all together and cut out the individual pieces. I've also published the pattern source file in case you'd like to make your own modifications and improvements. If you like this free pattern and you find it useful, I'll also put a link to where you can purchase a digital copy to show your support. The first step is to wash and iron your fabric. Then cut out the fabric pieces. I'm using medium weight cotton canvas fabric I bought online. You'll have two rectangular pieces that frame the zipper and form the top of the bag, one piece shaped like a plus sign that forms the bottom and sides of the bag, and two pieces for each strap handle and zipper tab. Iron the straps and tabs in half. Then fold the edges to the center and iron again. The straps then get folded lengthwise once more, and the tabs get folded the other way. You can use some nylon webbing for the straps and tabs if you prefer, like the stuff that makes up the handles for these grocery bags. I love these colorful woven bags that come from Fresh Direct, but they stopped taking them back a few years ago, and I can only use so many around the house, and I hate throwing them away. So I'll be showing you how to make this pattern from recycled grocery bag material as well. Next up, install the zipper. I buy this stuff in a big roll, then cut it and add a zipper pull for each application. Because of this, I can easily sew the right side of the bag fabric to the right side of the zipper using a zipper foot, which only puts pressure on one side of the needle. Repeat on the other side and iron the seams away from the zipper coil. I also added a top stitch for extra strength and a more finished look. It's at this point that I add the zipper pull. If you're using a zipper with a pull attached already, you'll need to stitch each zipper seam in two sections and move the zipper pull out of the way in between. Switch back to the normal presser foot, then top stitch the straps and tabs. Now it's time to pin and stitch these pieces together, starting with the seams across the ends of the zipper. Pin the right sides together and add a tab in between the layers at the center where the zipper is. Then sew a straight stitch across. Repeat at the other end, then iron the seams away from the zipper and top stitch to secure the seam allowance and add extra strength. If you're new to sewing or using a slippery material, you may wish to sew the tabs in place before stitching this seam. Totally fine and good. Same goes for the strap handles. It can be helpful to stitch these in place at either end of the seam you just finished before sewing up the long side seams, so they don't move around on you. The best way to pin up these side seams is by first lining up the bottom corners of the U shape, then spreading out the remaining middle bits along the top edge. Depending on your fabric and preference, these clips could come in handy instead of straight pins. Sew a straight stitch along this whole seam, backstitching at the starting and ending corners. To pivot at the corners, put the needle down, then raise the presser foot, pivot the fabric, put the presser foot back down, and keep sewing. Once you've sewn both side seams, you can turn the bag right side out and admire your handiwork. To add more durability and water resistance to your Dopp Kit bag, waxing is an optional step that elevates this bag to another level. First, cover your work surface with a thick protective material, like a double layer of cardboard. Heat up your wax until it's a liquid consistency. I'm using a blend of half beeswax and half paraffin, and a hot plate, though you could also use a double boiler on the stove. You've seen me do this before with my waxed canvas tool roll. Just brush on the melted wax all over the bag. But since that video, I've learned a new trick that saves a bunch of time. After applying the first round of wax, I'll pop these in the oven on a covered baking sheet at its lowest temp for a few minutes until the wax has all soaked in. This is way less work than melting it with a heat gun, though you may find you still want to touch up some spots with the heat gun after they come out of the oven. I also spilled my wax, so I want to take the opportunity to show you how to clean it up. Provided it's on a hard surface like the table or my laminate floor, it's pretty easy to get it off. Wait for the wax to cool and solidify, then scrape it up with a scraper or a metal ruler. Sweep or vacuum up the big chunks of wax, then come back with your heat gun or blow dryer and a dry paper towel. Melt the wax and wipe it up as you go. I've made a bunch of these bags, both from canvas and from recycled grocery bags, which already have some amount of water resistance because they're made from plastic. If you're using the webbing that comes with these bags, you'll want to melt the ends with a lighter before sewing so the strap doesn't fray and come apart where you stitched it. You can also accessorize your bag by stitching on some patches. Thread a sewing needle with thread that matches the perimeter of your patch, then double it over and tie a knot at the ends. Starting from the inside of the bag, make small stitches perpendicular to the edge of the patch to secure it to the bag. You can stitch small sections on opposite sides to make it easier to hold the patch in place while you stitch everywhere else. You can even hide an air tag behind a patch if you want to make sure your bag doesn't get misplaced. After a while, the waxed canvas will relax a bit, since all that moving around will create creases and soften the overall look and feel. If you want to bring it back to crisp newness, you can hit it with the heat gun or hair dryer. Personally, I'm a fan of the worn-in texture. And there you have it, your very own handmade waxed canvas Dopp Kit, perfect for traveling or as a unique gift for someone special. If you enjoyed this video, you will also enjoy this video of mine about 6 more easy craft projects you can make with your newfound sewing obsession, including scrunchies and plush toys on the softer end of the spectrum, and leather wallets and bracelets on the tougher end. It won't hit YouTube for a while, but it's already out on Nebula. What is Nebula? It's a streaming service built by and for independent creators like me. I hope you'll consider subscribing, which supports me directly. My next episode is Nebula First, so it's already up. You'll also get access to Nebula originals, like Lindsay Ellis's fascinating deep dive cultural critique of Guy Fieri and his career, and Nebula classes like these 101 primers on camping, bike packing, and birding, and more of your favorite creators teaching you firsthand how they bring their content to life. If you sign up for Nebula using the link below, you'll get a year of Nebula for $30, or a little over $2.50 per month. You'll not only get access to all the awesome stuff Nebula offers, but also a portion of your subscription fee goes directly to me. Thank you so much for your support.
If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. I hope you'll subscribe with the bell to be notified of my future uploads, subscribe to my email newsletter, and find me on your favorite social platforms. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This video was made with support from my sponsors and generous donations from viewers like you through Patreon and YouTube memberships.